03C, back 1 1/2 somersaults, tuck position, difficulty 2.0. Awards: 6, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. Shan, a 301C, reverse dive tuck, difficulty 1.6. Awards: 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5, 5, 5, 5 1/2. Skylar, a 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck position, difficulty 1.6. Awards: 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2, 6, 6, 5 1/2, 6. Nicole, a 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck 1.6. Awards: 5, 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 5, 5, 5, 5. Mahana, a 5-2-2-3D, back 1 somersault, 1 1/2 twist, free position, difficulty 2.3. Awards: 5, 5, 4, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 3, 4. Lauren, a 5-1-2-1D, forward 1 somersault, 1/2 twist, free position, difficulty 1.7. Awards: 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 3, 5, 5 1/2, 4, 5 1/2. Jill, 202A, back 1 somersault, straight position, difficulty 1.7. Awards: 6, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Emma, a 5-2-3-1D, back 1 1/2 somersaults, 1/2 twist, free position, difficulty 2.1.
Stand up tall and be smooth on your out. Relax the shoulders for your entry.
Awards: 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 6, 6, 5. Beginning the 10th round of dives. Elena, a 401B, inward dive, pike, difficulty 1.5. Awards: 5 1/2, 8, 7, 8, 7 1/2, 8, 6 1/2. Jan's 10th dive is a 103B, forward 1 1/2 somersaults, pike, difficulty 1.7. Awards. 6, 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Skylar, 103B, forward 1 1/2 somersaults, pike, difficulty 1.7. Awards. 6 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 6, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Nicole, 5122D, forward 1 somersault, 1 full twist, free position, difficulty 1.9. Awards. 5 1/2, 6, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6. Mahana, a 402C, inward 1 somersault tuck, difficulty 1.6. Awards. 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 7, 6 1/2, 6, 6. Lauren, a 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, difficulty 1.6. Awards. 6, 6 1/2, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 6, 6, 6. Jill's 10th dive is a 5222D, back 1 somersault, 1 full twist, free position, difficulty 1.9. Awards. 6, 6, 6 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5, 6 1/2. Emma, a 103B, forward 1 1/2 somersaults, pike, difficulty 1.7. Awards. 6, 6 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 6, 7, 6 1/2. Beginning the final round, Elena Ewan from Punahou, a 103B, forward 1 1/2 somersaults, pike 1.7. Awards. 6, 6 1/2, 6, 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6 1/2. Shan Assumption from Kaiser High, a 5222D, back 1 somersault, 1 full twist, free position, 1.9. Awards. 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2. Skylar Lickle from Seabury Hall, a 5-1-2-2D, forward, 1 somersault, 1 full twist, free position, difficulty 1.9. Judges Awards. 6 and 1/2, 6, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 6, 6, 6 and 1/2. Nicole Nagata from Iolani School, a 5-2-1-1A, back dive, 1/2 twist, straight position, difficulty 1.8. Awards. 4 and 1/2, 5, 3, 5 and 1/2, 4 and 1/2, 4 and 1/2, 5. Mahana Merrill, a 101B forward dive, pike, difficulty 1.3. Awards. 6 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 7. Lauren Takanishi from Iolani School, a 5-2-2-1D, back 1 somersault, 1/2 twist, free position, difficulty 1.7. Awards. 4 and 1/2, 7, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 5, 5. Jill Chaffee from Kaiser High, a 5-2-2-3D, back 1 somersault, 1 and 1/2 twist, free position, 2.3. Awards. 5, 6, 6 and 1/2, 5, 5, 3, 6. Emma Inkpak from Punahou, a 104C forward double somersault, tuck position, difficulty 2.2. Judges Awards. 5, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 5, 5, 6, 6. That concludes the girls'